we make things. We use our hands, minds, and machines to build, to fix, to improve. We're known as do-it-yourselfers, home improvement fans, fix-it fanatics, inventors. At our core, though, we're all makers. So let's jump in and make something. Hi, I'm Ron Hazelton. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to see step by step how to install a replacement double hung window. It's something you can do yourself. Next, I'll show you a simple way to convert a metalworking vise into one that's good for wood. Then I'll demonstrate the best and easiest ways to apply exterior wood stain. Today's house call has me heading north from Orlando through Central Florida. This isn't what most people think of when they think of Florida. This is a land of rolling hills, farms, and it's the heart of Florida horse country. The rural beauty here is what led Janet Wooten and Steve Brown to purchase this 1884 farmhouse in the town of Alachua. And this might be Florida, but it gets cold here in the winter, and these living room windows offer little insulation. So today we're going to replace them with a new set that will also be in keeping with the look of their home. I love this house.
We do too.
It's got such a great feel in here. There's something about the older houses that just appeals to me, but there are obviously some problems with older houses, one of them being your windows. These are the three we're talking about right over here?
Yes.
These are the three.
So what's been the problem?
Well, in the winter, believe it or not, even though this is Florida, it gets very cold in here.
How cold?
Well, outside it gets down to 36 or 32, and in here the heater never quits, trying to maintain a livable temperature.
All right, well, I've got some windows outside that I want to show you. I think they're going to not only look great in here and solve that problem of the heat, but also they're going to be surprisingly easy to put in. So let me show you. These are called retrofit windows.
What do you mean?
Well, some windows are designed more to be installed in new construction. These are designed to replace the windows that are already in there. And you'll see when we get into the installation how easy this is actually going to be because of that. More importantly, they have two pieces of glass. They're called dual glazed windows. And in between those two pieces of glass is a sealed space filled with argon gas. And that combination, the two glasses and the dead air space in between with the gas in it, is going to give you much higher insulation value.
Sounds
also,
good.
You notice they look pretty much exactly like the windows we're taking out because we don't want these windows to scream, new window. You know, you've got a beautiful antique house here, and they should look like pretty much like the windows that we're taking out, but they're going to perform a lot better. Now, we're going to start the installation. Actually, we're going to do all the installation from the inside. Let's go back in there and begin by taking out the old windows. We're going to start by taking out this stop right here. These are called double hung windows. They slide up and down, as you know, in a track over here. And in order to get these out, it's a little sticky. In order to get these out, we're going to pull this off. We use utility knives to cut through the caulk and multiple layers of paint where the stop meets the jamb. This will help us remove the stop without damaging the surrounding area. All right, next step is we're going to take a wide putty knife like this, and I'm going to try to work this in behind the stop. So kind of put it in like this, give it a couple taps with a hammer. You see how it's begun to pull it out a little bit?
Yes.
Kind of get it started with a putty knife because it's really thin. All right, and then we'll come back with this kind of spoon-shaped pry bar here, work it in behind the stop, and then start pushing it out. And generally, you want to start at one end and work toward the other like this. There's going to be a nail, in this case, about every 8 inches. So kind of go up near the next nail and start prying like this. And so far, so good. We're taking this off in one piece right here. There you go. Well, you can see the window's loose now. So all we've got to do is cut these sash cords. So these are ropes that go up inside the frame here. There are weights on the other end. We're not going to need those for the new windows. So what I'm going to do is just snip these off and let them drop back inside the wall. Bye-bye. And we'll do the same over here. Okay, so we'll just pull it down. clip it off, let it go. There it goes. Okay, then you can just take this out, Jim. Just lift it right out. Okay, that's the bottom sash.
Oh.
There you go.
1, 2, 3 bottoms away.
After Steve and Carol cut the sash cords and remove the remaining bottom windows, I use a pair of vise grips to begin pulling this piece of wood, called a parting strip, from the groove in which it sits. Once the end is clear, I insert a flat bar behind the strip and pry out the rest of it. All right, goodbye parting strip. We remove the other parting strips, cut the sash cords, remove the upper windows, pry out the sash cord pulleys, and our interior prep work is done. So we head outside to get the windows. Well, I said we had to bring more horsepower to this project. I didn't know you were going to bring an actual horse in. Who's this?
This is Tinker's Moon.
Hey, Tinker's Moon. Oh,
She's
you're
a 3-year-old
beautiful.
Connemara mare.
Wow.
They're an Irish breed of pony.
Yeah. Well, now I can see why you guys have got 8 acres here. Perfect for horses, eh?
Exactly.
Not bad for people either.
Oh, we love it.
See, listen, we've got a little project over here. We've got to take these 3 windows inside the house. Do you think we could, like, put them up on your back? And Nah,
Earn your
I
keep.
think we're going to have to do it. All right, well, thanks for the introduction. See you later, Tinker.
So you're welcome.
These windows were special ordered from the manufacturer to fit Carol and Steve's window openings, but it's always a good idea to do a test fit. So they should slip right in like a glove, huh?
Like a glove.
Beautiful. Okay, take it back out. We'll get these prepped to do this for the final time. We begin our installation by running 1 thick bead of paintable silicone caulk across the sill to provide a seal at the bottom of the window. Also, now we're going to lay a bead of caulk in up in this corner right here, top, bottom, and sides. I run the bead all the way down the side. Then Steve caulks the other side and runs a final bead across the top. All right, Steve. The transformation begins.
This is good.
All right. So we'll just set the bottom in first.
Okay.
Just inside the sill there. Beautiful.
Good.
Tip it up.
Okay.
We press the window against the stops so that it comes firmly into contact with the sealant. So the window's actually held in place here with 4 screws, 2 on each side, through pre-drilled holes. There's the top left one right there. So I'm going to just put a shim back here because I don't want to pull this up. I don't want to pull the window out of position here. So we'll put that in, drop the screw through the hole, and then go ahead and run that in. Okay, let's throw a level on there, Steve.
Okay.
See how we're doing. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now let's do this side. Okay, let's just double check. Make sure we didn't move anything. Well, I'd say that's perfect too. So it's perfectly level, perfectly plumb. Windows are working well. You guys want to go ahead and put in the next 2?
Sure.
All right.
We'll give it a try.
All right. I'm going to go down to the pond, do a little fishing. Yeah, what a team, eh? You know what I say, the couple that caulks together sticks together. Yeah, you get it? You got these good thermally efficient windows here, so we don't want to have you losing heat or having cold air come in around the edge. So Steve, take a piece of that insulation over there and just stuff it into this crack right here between the edge of the frame
Gotcha.
and the old jamb. Let's seal this house up snug as a bug in a rug. Because Carol and Steve did such a good job removing the trim, we can reinstall it rather than replace it. We attach it with a pneumatic nail gun called a pin nailer. That noise you hear? There's actually a little compressor built into this to provide its own air supply. So every time it fires, it has to recharge the little tank that's on board here. But this is how it's very easy to use. I turn the pin nailer over to Janet, who starts putting up the trim on the sides. I predicted you were going to like this tool.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
You were exactly correct. Yes, you're right. It's on my Christmas list.
Okay, I knew it.
More than that diamond ring. Okay.
I'm going to save you some money, buddy. Tools are a lot less expensive than jewelry. With the trim applied to the first window, we move on to the others. Now, we've got a small gap right down here. We're going to do 2 things. First of all, I'm going to take some of this material called backer rod. This is often used to put behind caulk when you've got a really wide gap. We're just going to lay this in here to make a seal. We'll cut off the excess. Carol and Steve use a miter saw to cut thin strips of flat molding to length. These will conceal the gap between the new window frame and the old sill. Next, we cut 45-degree miters on strips of shoe molding and set them in place to conceal the gaps between the trim and the window frame. Finally, we fill any remaining small gaps and cracks with paintable caulk. Nice job. Okay, I say we're ready for some paint. Yeah, I do like it very much. Now, there's always a debate whether it's better to just paint and then scrape off the excess or to tape. I think I'm a taper. This is actually masking paper with an adhesive on one side right there. You see it, kind of sticky? So this is how I like to do it. Start by putting a strip up here. I bring the masking paper right to the edge of the window mullions, those wood strips separating the glass panes. Use a putty knife to tear it off short at each end, then do the same on the other side. Next, I overlap a strip across the top, tear off the excess on the ends, and do the same at the bottom. I prefer this method over scraping because I believe it's a bit faster and eliminates the risk of scratching the glass with a razor blade. We also apply strips of masking tape to the track to keep it free of paint. All right, it's painting time, and let's start up at the top and work downwards, so that way if we get any drips, we'll catch them on the way down. While Steve and Carol paint, I move outside to fill any gaps between the old and new window frame with backer rod, and finally, a weatherproof exterior caulk. After the paint dries, it's time to remove the masking paper. First, though, we use a utility knife to carefully cut along the edge. This will guarantee a crisp, clean line as we pull the paper away. Now, this is a nice extra feature on these windows. You don't have to go outside to clean the outside because they tip in like this. And so anyway, I think this has probably got everything nice and tidy. Let's put this back. Finally, it's time to dress these windows up. And I've brought along a set of window treatments that I think are perfect for this room. Installation is as simple as attaching a pair of brackets, then snapping the blinds right into place. Well done. Just one more step. That's to put up this valance. So there are a couple plastic clips right here. Snap those over the top.
Okay.
These are from Hunter Douglas. They're from their Country Woods collection. This is all solid cherry. Beautiful. Even the valance up here is solid cherry. And they have something that's very interesting. It's called a light blocking feature. When these are closed, there are no holes in any of these slats, and the light is completely blocked out. So, you know, you have to sleep out here some night and you want to sleep late for whatever reason. No light waking you up. So, you guys happy with this?
Absolutely delighted.
Yeah?
Very happy.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait now for this next winter storm to come.
Oh, I
It'll
can't
be
either.
Just to see how much better. Truthfully, this house was so warm and so comfortable and cozy before I even got here. This is just going to make it a little warmer when that winter storm comes. Huh?
I think so.
All right,
I
guys.
know so.
Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
very
It was a
much.
pleasure
Been a
working with you.
delight.
My pleasure also.
Well, there was a time when window replacement might have best been left to the pros. But with new, easy-to-install products like these retrofit windows and solid wood blinds, not only are the results beautiful, but we can say I did it myself. Now, I have both a mechanic's vise for metal and a woodworking vise for wood. But if you've only got the mechanic's version, well, there is a way to convert it for wood. I'm planning to make wooden jaw covers that will be held in place with magnets. I'll start with 4 pieces of 1x2, about a foot long. These dimensions, though, can be whatever you like. My metal vise has 2 screws on each jaw. I want to mark the locations for my magnets so that they will not fall on the top of these screw heads. Using the drill press and a Forstner bit, I drill shallow holes that will house the magnets. It's important that the holes be just deep enough to allow the top surface of the magnet to sit flush with the wood jaw. Now I'm using CA, or instant dry cyanoacrylate glue, to secure the magnets in place. Hot melt glue would also work. Next, it's back to the drill press to bore clearance holes for the screws that will hold the 2 jaw pieces together. I drill countersinks so the screw heads will not protrude above the surrounding surface. I apply wood glue to the edge of one jaw part, set the second part in position,
and attach them together with screws. The wood pads simply slip over the metal vise jaws and are held in place with the embedded magnets. Because they're attached, the wooden pads move as the vise jaws move. Vise pads like these are especially useful for securely holding wood or other soft materials without the risk of damage from the metal jaws. The enlarged clamping surface also improves holding power.
When it comes to applying exterior stain, there are several options: a brush, painting pad, roller, or spray gun. Let's take a look at each. When using a brush, it's best to pour the stain from the can into a smaller container. To load the brush, dip it into the stain, then slap it on the sides to distribute the material and remove any excess. Brush in the direction of the grain, working a section at a time and keeping the leading edge wet. One of the advantages of a brush is that it works the stain well into the surface. On the other hand, brushing is one of the more time-consuming methods of application. Getting into the grooves in this siding means turning the brush vertical. A painting pad is also a good application tool. In this case, pour the stain into a roller pan, saturate the face of the pad, then draw the pad over the pan ridges. Because of the pad's width and its ability to hold a considerable amount of material, it's speedier than the brush. Yet, like the brush, it works the paint thoroughly into the surface. Getting into grooves and other details, though, still requires some brushing. Using a roller to apply stains means choosing the best nap length, either 3/8 inch, 1/2 inch, or 3/4 inch. Generally speaking, the rougher the surface, the longer the nap. Rollers can hold quite a bit of paint and distribute it quickly. Again, work in smaller areas and keep the leading edge wet. One downside of a roller, though, is the need to back brush in order to ensure the stain is worked well into the surface. This goes quite quickly, though. You'll also need to brush in the details. Handheld airless paint sprayers can easily handle materials like this water-based stain. Try to keep the spray gun at a constant distance and move at a consistent speed. This unit can spray a pattern up to 12 inches wide, which makes it ideal for larger jobs like this. Here too, you'll need to back brush to make sure the stain is worked thoroughly into the surface. Well, there you have it, 4 ways to apply exterior stain. Just pick the one you like best.
To view today's projects again, visit ronhazelton.com. Step-by-step home improvement tips when you need them.
I'm Brian Kelsey. Welcome to House Calls.
Join us as we tackle some great home projects, as well as look back at favorites from Ron Hazelton on House Calls.